this regular scheduled Planning Commission meeting to order. We're in West Hollywood City Council chambers. It's February 20th, 2020, and it's 6:30 p.m. And Robin Eason, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Thank you. Thanks.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Robin. David, roll call.
Good evening. Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Hoopengartner?
Present.
Commissioner Erickson?
Present.
Commissioner Buckner?
Here.
Commissioner Elchall?
Here.
Vice Chair Bass?
Here.
Chair Carvalero?
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Great. Do we have any changes to the agenda? And if not, do I have a motion to move the agenda? And a
I
second?
would request a change to put 10A on the consent calendar.
Because it's a public hearing, I think we should keep it on the regular agenda, but you cannot have a staff report or find other ways to speed up the item if that's your pleasure, but I would leave it on the regular agenda.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Sorry, my screen's not working. Is anyone else having that problem?
Motion by Commissioner Hoopengartner, seconded by Vice Chair Bass. Commissioner Jones, is your screen?
It's fine now.
It's okay. And the agenda is approved unanimously.
Great. Do I have approval of the February 6th Planning Commission meeting minutes?
Just to note that I will need to abstain from approving because I wasn't present at the last meeting.
Yep.
With that, I made a motion to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Buckner, seconded by Commissioner Erickson. And the minutes are approved as presented for February 6, 2020.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments at this time?
We have no public comment.
Great. And just for the people in the audience, if you'd like to make a comment, please fill out a speaker slip, which is located at the back table, and give it to David, and when your opportunity presents itself, you'll be able to speak. Are you guys getting echo from the mic tonight, or is it just me? You are, okay. Okay. Director's report. Mr. Kehoe.
Good evening, John Kehoe, Director of Planning and Development Services. There's been kind of a light agenda at the City Council on Planning Commission items. So the last meeting, there wasn't a Planning Commission item, but there was an item on the designation of a building at 1251 Detroit, and the City Council denied an appeal and approved the designation of that building. Excuse me. And then at the upcoming City Council meeting, there's a couple of interesting items. We're going to have an evaluation of the parklets. There's 3 parklets that are in place in this community, so we're going to do an evaluation of that. There's personal delivery devices are coming our way, and those are robots that are on the sidewalks. So that's the item's going to be on that on March 2nd, about possibly having a test program for those. And then also another item is discussing possible Sunset Gateway design. So those are interesting items, but those are items that didn't come before the Planning Commission. So I just wanted to give an update on those. So that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for our director? Nope. Thank you, Mr. Kehoe. Items from the commissioners.
I do.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes, I do have one item. I'm going to do this now instead of at the end. I just wanted to let everyone know, if you're interested, there's an event that I am on the host committee for this coming Sunday. It is at Pally House at 2 p.m. It is a fundraising event for Lambda Legal. It's called Love Lounge. Luckily, we didn't do it on Valentine's Day weekend this year. So again, it is on Sunday. Encourage you to attend. there are lots of beautiful, amazing, fun people. I'm not going to say that I include myself in them, but I will be there. And there will be a photo booth, and it's just a great way to get to know people in the community and young professionals who support people in the LGBTQ community. If you're not familiar with the work that Lambda Legal does, it's pretty amazing and trailblazing. So encourage you to attend, and I'm happy to speak to anyone afterward about tickets if you'd like to come.
Thank you. Any other, Commissioner Erickson?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say thank you to all my fellow commissioners. A lot of people reached out about the vagina monologues this past weekend, and those that came, it was sold out both nights, and we raised over $5,000 for Planned Parenthood, and it was in my personal capacity, and it was really fun to see this actual space transformed into an amazing place over the weekend. So I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you to everyone that came out. It was a really fun weekend.
Great.
I have one item.
Vice Chair
In
Bass?
our upcoming Planning Commission agenda, it looks like our March 5th agenda is incredibly full. We have 4 large items and a training, and I'm wondering if it's possible if we could look at maybe bumping that training back to the next meeting and just like moving all of the trainings forward one meeting, if it would balance things out. I really value these trainings, but I also know that if we're done talking with 4 really extensive items, we kind of start to check out. Or I speak for myself, not my colleagues, but I get tired after a lot of big items.
We agree, it's a lot. The only thing I would say is that we've got the VMT, the SB 743 training in March. I think it's important that we keep that there. So we'll look at how we can adjust things, but I don't want to just wholesale bump everything down.
Whatever
because
order.
that's coming at us pretty
Right.
quickly. I want to make sure everybody's up to speed in time.
I just didn't, I wanted to prioritize them however you thought that you should prioritize them, which why I made that suggestion. But if we could just make March 5th not a training night and move the others back, that's my preference.
Okay.
I guess I would add that the housing law update training following an item that is about the density bonus law kind of seems counterintuitive, that perhaps that might happen in a different order.
Yes, the density bonus law is implementing one of probably 5 or 6 state bills that I was going to go over, so I could probably take that part out of my presentation, and Rachel and I can go through it when she brings the ordinance to you, but it's actually just one small piece of the larger housing law update.
And then I remember the last training, are we going to be able to get like this, whatever you'll say ahead of time? I just don't, I remember the last time we did a training, we were just staring at you for like 10 minutes. And so if we could get that material as part of the packet, or it could be printed for us. I just remember the last training was, although I thoroughly enjoyed it, it was a little bit less interactive, and I'd like to have and maybe see that stuff versus hearing you talk at us about housing and density bonus law and everything that's coming down the pike or has been implemented.
And it's a lot to go through. So
Yeah,
we'll
I mean, and
figure
I
out the
follow
best
this
way
stuff
to-
already, so I'm aware of it, but if we could get that as part of the packet, or if you could provide it on the screen or whatever, like as you do as a presentation, it might just be easier for us to engage and see.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We do not have any items on the consent calendar, and we have one public hearing today. Item B and C have been shifted to March 5th. So we will consider a subdivision of a 5-unit residential building to a common interest development located at 1048 North Curzon Avenue. And I understand that we're going to forego our staff report. So what would the next step be?
Do we have any speakers on it?
Do we have any speakers?
We have no public speakers.
Then I move the
Have
item.
any commissioner
I'll second.
comments?
Oh, just
Or
kidding.
questions of staff? Commissioner Jones? Commissioner, okay.
And the motion passes unanimously.
As I mentioned, item 10B and 10C have been shifted to March 5th, so we move on to new business, which we need to appoint a commissioner and an alternate to the Climate Action Adaptation Plan appointment, or CAP as it's known. And I think Robin is going to give us a quick rundown. Yeah? No? Or? So, do I have nominations for?
Well, I'd like to ask this. I only asked Ruggiero Cavallero about this earlier, so wouldn't be a quorum situation. Is there anybody who would like to be nominated for this?
Yeah,
Is her name
I
Lynn
don't mind doing
Hupengarner?
it as well.
Is her name Lynn Hupengarner?
I got to keep the green.
Well, then I would like to nominate Lynn Hupengarner.
And I would happily serve as the alternate if no one else wants to do it.
Let's do it.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Perfect.
And that passes. The appointment will be for Commissioner Hupengarner, and the alternate will be Commissioner Erickson.
Great. So we have no unfinished business. We have nothing on excluded consent calendar. Do we have any other items from the staff?
It appears that everyone is pretty well aware of what's coming up, but we've got a pretty heavy agenda on March 5th. We'll look at adjusting our training schedule going forward so that we can maintain a reasonable number of items on your agenda. The only thing coming up on Design Review Subcommittee is the Palm Senior Congregate Care Project, and that is coming in March. I think it's going to be in March 12th. So it's a senior congregate care facility on Palm. It's
Commissioner
a
Hupengarner?
adaptive reuse rehabilitation incentive project on a Craftsman property.
We had a question about which design review meeting that you wanted to make sure has been canceled. Commissioner Hupengarner?
We received a calendar update about cancellation of future design review dates, and I just wanted to make sure that was firm because I have an opportunity to do something fun on one of those dates, and I'd like to do it.
The only one that I know is for sure canceled is February 27th.
Okay. So the others are still in play?
Yeah, because
Okay, thank you.
we don't know. They're far enough out that we could still have items on them.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, where are we? Any public comments, David?
No public comment.
Okay. Commissioner comments. Do we have any? No. What's that? Okay. Subcommittee management, I think we've dealt with that. Yes? No? Okay. I'm adjourning our meeting of the Planning Commission. Today is to our next regular scheduled Planning Commission meeting here in Council Chambers at 6:30, Thursday, March 5th, 2020. Thanks for coming.